Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to another edition of NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate RingsideNews.com. Got your questions here. Now that the very busy week in wrestling is finally winding down, people are starting to ask questions about some of the future storylines, and now we can start taking a look at what's coming ahead in WWE. So let's get started here with the first one today from the Animal Dave. Don't think it's Dave Batista, but the Animal Dave. Hey Aaron, if Batista and Brock wrestle this year, do you think it would be a massive letdown? Do you think if it was the Batista 2004-2005 versus the Brock Lesnar 2003, it would be an epic match? If this match does happen, how would you book it? That's an interesting question. I do think we will see Brock Lesnar and Batista at some point. It seems inevitable to me that this match will take place. Batista is one of WWE's top stars of the past 10 years, and Brock Lesnar is now the guy that ended Undertaker's streak. So I think it's a matter of time now until we see this match. How do you book it? That's an interesting question that you bring up. I do not think that Brock Lesnar should be losing for a long time. Brock Lesnar is coming off the biggest WWE win of his career, and he needs to be pushed as a monster from this point forward. So when you do Batista and Brock is very much up in the air, and it's hard to say when the right time is to do this match. If it does happen, I think that Brock needs to go over. And another issue you have is that Batista and Brock Lesnar are both heels right now, so how would that match work exactly? I think it's best for WWE to wait a while until they do this match. I think that eventually you can turn Brock Lesnar babyface and go against Batista. That was my original idea, that Brock Lesnar would lose to The Undertaker at WrestleMania and then turn babyface, turn on Paul Heyman, and then have the match with Batista at SummerSlam. But now that Brock Lesnar beat the streak, I think that you need to keep him as a heel for the time being and let him go on a rampage. So eventually I think we'll get Batista and Brock Lesnar, but I don't think it should happen anytime soon. Next question here from JoaHack13. Hey Aaron, now that Lesnar has beaten the streak, does this mean that he will be getting back full time? It would be weird to give him this unless they have plans to make him the next WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Thanks. Well, let me make a prediction here. I think that at some point, Brock Lesnar will win the WWE title and have one last run. It only makes sense for that to happen now that he's ended Undertaker's streak. Now that the streak has been broken and Brock Lesnar has got that title, the man that beat Undertaker, WWE needs to really go all out with him. Will he go full-time? Really, he should be around more often, but I think that it's unlikely that we will be seeing him on a regular basis every single week. But I'm hopeful that maybe we'll get 5 or 6 matches from Brock Lesnar instead of 2 or 3. I mean, he's still a special attraction, and you don't want to have him be overexposed at this point. I could see him wrestling at SummerSlam. As far as him possibly winning the WWE World title, wouldn't make sense for it to happen at SummerSlam because then he would need to be around more often. He could win it. I could see him winning it at the Royal Rumble. That way it could be similar to when The Rock won the title. You know, Brock Lesnar doesn't have to make all that many appearances between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania besides the usual amount of appearances he makes, and it wouldn't seem all that weird. That, I think, is the most likely outcome here, is that Brock Lesnar will win the title around Royal Rumble and then lose it to WrestleMania. Who knows? Maybe we'll finally get The Rock versus Brock Lesnar, the match that was originally thought of for WrestleMania 30 and it got postponed because of The Rock's injury. So it's possible we could see that, or see Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan next year at the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, depending on how WWE wants to do things. But yeah, I don't see him getting back in the ring and being a full-time performer to the point where he's on Raw every week wrestling in matches. All right, this next one comes from John Drix Romano. Hey Aaron, it's my 17th year here on planet Earth. Happy birthday, unless you're an alien and you're just here for your 17th year. Anyways, do you see a Cesaro-Lesnar feud in the near future, say at SummerSlam? I could definitely see that match happen eventually. Right now, I don't think Cesaro's at that level yet where he will be going against Brock Lesnar where he's big enough. But if he blows up over this next year, who knows? Maybe in 2015 you could go with a Cesaro versus Lesnar match. That would be interesting to watch because Cesaro is quickly building this reputation as a Superman with superhuman strength. Throwing Big Show over the top rope to win the Andre Battle Royal. And, he's one of the few guys that could measure up power with Brock Lesnar. So, I mean, it seems like a natural matchup. I could see it at SummerSlam. The only thing, though, is going back to earlier, Lesnar is on a rampage right now. That's how I see him being booked. And if you did that match at SummerSlam, I think Lesnar would have to destroy Cesaro, and I don't think too many people would be happy with that. So you might want to wait on that as well. Let Cesaro build his name and continue to grow as a superstar, and maybe sometime down the line, 2015, you can do that match. All right, this next one comes from Jin the Great. With the Shield outright defying Triple H on Raw, does this mean an all-out war between the Authority and the Shield and Daniel Bryan? Well, that is the key word right there, war. A lot of people have been asking me about it, and it's all over the internet, tons of speculation that WWE is possibly going to bring back the War Games concept, which we saw in WCW, and introduce it in WWE. Now, as of this point, there's no arena that has been configured to hold 2 rings. So if they do have this War Games match, and that's a big if, it's still not confirmed, then it would most likely be 1 ring or whatever, which is fine. I would love to see the War Games back in WWE, and it seems like they're going to do some sort of match with Shield against the Authority and Daniel Bryan versus Triple H and some sort of combination. So it's possible. I mean, I think that when it comes down to it, it's a Vince McMahon decision if he wants to do it. I mean, he's been against it in the past because it's not his creation, and Vince doesn't like to use ideas that he didn't come up with himself. But, fans have been demanding it. WWE's been putting out the surveys over the years, and, they ask what kind of match you want to see, and people have made it clear they would like to see War Games. So I think it should happen. Will it happen? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, with the way that they're teasing it, and they specifically mention the word war, maybe it's going to happen. We'll just have to wait and see and cross our fingers. I think most of us would like to see a War Games match, and we've never seen it before in WWE, so why not? Why not do something different and let these guys go out and just destroy each other and have this epic war? All right, this one comes from Live Life Loudly. So the New Age Outlaws are done then. The Shield sort of hinted that we wouldn't be seeing them again on Raw last night. Do you think we won't be seeing the New Age Outlaws compete anymore or ever again? Well, I think that's pretty much it for the New Age Outlaws for the time being. Honestly, I didn't even expect them to have a match at WrestleMania. I thought that the whole purpose of them coming in was to be part of that CM Punk Triple H storyline, which went nowhere, of course. But then they ended up winning the tag team titles. And at that point, I thought, okay, maybe they will have a match at WrestleMania, but then they lost the titles. And then they were still booked for WrestleMania. So I think WWE just decided to let them have one last run. And, I think that was really cool. It was nice to see the Outlaws come back and have one more reign as tag team champions. But it's over and done with now. And really, those guys shouldn't be in the ring wrestling on a regular basis. I mean, Billy Gunn got injured at WrestleMania, and it's not wise to keep them in there. They're past their prime, and it's time to focus on the younger talent. So, I think we'll see them again at some point, but I think that that's pretty much it for them being active or even semi-active in the ring. All right, this one comes from TLA IHO1. Hi Aaron, greetings from Finland. Thanks for your always entertaining videos. Here's my question. How long do you think Bray Wyatt will last as a character? Did his loss to John Cena cut his momentum short? Sadly, I think that it did. I hope I'm wrong though. Well, I think that WWE will still continue to push the Wyatt family for the time being. I mentioned this in the previous video that if Bray Wyatt lost at WrestleMania, regardless of who won, the feud would continue. Wouldn't make sense for Bray Wyatt to lose and then the feud continues, but whatever. That's how WWE does things. And with the way WWE has their even Steven booking, where one guy wins one pay-per-view and then the other guy wins the second pay-per-view, if there's a rematch, and I'm guessing at Extreme Rules there'll be a rematch, Bray Wyatt will get the win over John Cena. And, I'm sure there'll be all the outside interference and all that crap. But yeah, I can see Bray Wyatt continuing to be pushed as long as the fans are reacting to the character. And the fans are really behind Bray Wyatt right now, and I still feel they have a lot of momentum despite the loss at WrestleMania. I would have gone with a Bray Wyatt win, but WWE had to protect John Cena and let him preserve his legacy or whatever. So it is what it is. But I think the Wyatt family will be fine for the time being, and it's just a matter of will the fans give up on them. As long as the fans continue to react to them, I think they'll continue to be pushed. All right, this last one today comes from iTimebomb182. What are your thoughts on the current Raw announce team? If it were up to you, would you make any changes to it or keep it the same? I think that the current Raw announce team is okay. I've come to accept Michael Cole. He's no Jim Ross, but I think he does a good enough job to be the lead announcer. JBL, I used to like JBL a lot. I don't think he has been quite as good as he used to be. And Jerry Lawler has really gone downhill. After the heart attack, I would have pulled him completely from the announce team, but he's still there. And if I had to make a change, I would honestly get rid of Jerry Lawler. I would just have it be Michael Cole and JBL, and maybe try out a third person. Why not? You got to experiment with people, and maybe Renee Young eventually. I mean, have somebody fresh in there. I mean, I think that's what they need, is a fresh face at the announce table. So, maybe somebody from NXT, maybe experiment, have somebody new on SmackDown, just get some fresh blood in there. Alright, that'll do it for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQ&AW. Share this video on Facebook and Twitter, and I will see you guys next time for more.